भूत मत बनाओ रे दादा। चिंटू और चिंकी बचाओ।
तू कितना भी चिल्ला ले, अब तुझे कोई भी बचाने के लिए नहीं आएगा, और अगर कोई आया भी तो हम उसे भी भूत बना देंगे। अब इंजेक्शन लगाओ मालिक।
नहीं 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 नहीं।
अरे दादा, काट लिया।
जल्दी इस पर आजा बाबू। अब इसे भगा चिंटुआ।
अबे कमीना, तू उसे छोड़ क्यों दिया जब पकड़ा था तो? देखो वो भाग गया। उसने मेरे हाथ पर काट लिया मालिक, इसीलिए छोड़ दिया। तूने गलती की है तो तुझे इसकी सजा मिलेगी, बराबर मिलेगी। नहीं नहीं, मुझे छोड़ दो मालिक, इसे मार बकरा। और मार बकरा, ताकि ये दोबारा गलती ना करे। मालिक मुझे मारना बंद करो। और देखो वो तीनों उस गाड़ी पर बैठकर भाग रहे हैं।
बाबू, वो भूत तुझे भूत तो नहीं बनाए ना? इंजेक्शन लगाकर भूत बनाने वाले थे, लेकिन मैं उसके हाथ पर काट कर भाग आया। तू तो बहुत होशियार है रे बाबू।
ट्रेन चालू कर मुर्गा, और उन तीनों का पीछा कर। जी मालिक, अभी ट्रेन से उन्हें पकड़ता हूँ।
चिंटुआ, इस गाड़ी को और तेज भगा, वो भूत हमें ट्रेन से पकड़ने आ रहे हैं। ठीक है, भगाता हूँ।
और तेज ट्रेन को भगा मुर्गा, आज वो तीनों बचना नहीं चाहिए।
वो और तेज आने लगे चिंटू, इसे और तेज भगा। ये गाड़ी ट्रेन नहीं है, अभी और तेज नहीं भाग सकती। तब क्या करें चिंटुआ? चलो इस गाड़ी पर से कूद जाते हैं, ट्रेन तो रोड पे चलेगी नहीं। हाँ, तुम ठीक कह रही हो चिंकी। तो कूदो।
वो तीनों तो उस गाड़ी पर से कूदकर भागने लगे मालिक। ट्रेन को जमीन पर चलाओ। ये कैसे हो सकता है मालिक? ट्रेन जमीन पर चलने के लिए नहीं बनी है। बाहर देख, धूप निकली हुई है। अगर हम ट्रेन से बाहर गए तो जल जाएंगे। हाँ, आप भी ठीक कह रहे हो मालिक। बकरा ट्रेन को जमीन पर चला।
अरे दादा, वो देखो चिंटू और चिंकी, वो ट्रेन जमीन पर चल रही है। क्या? अब हमारा क्या होगा? होगा क्या? चलो किसी तांत्रिक के पास चलते हैं। तांत्रिक भूत को जलाकर भस्म कर देगा। लेकिन तांत्रिक मिलेगा कहाँ? वो तो मुझे भी नहीं पता। अरे ये मेरे बच्चे ऐसे भाग क्यों रहे हैं? चिंटू देखो, पापा आ गए, पापा आ गए। अरे तुम तीनों भाग क्यों रहे हो? भूत हमें ट्रेन से पकड़ रहे हैं, भूत बनाने के लिए। क्या? वो देखो, वो आ रहे हैं। अरे तो तुम तीनों जल्दी टेम्पो में आ जाओ। हाँ चलो चिंकी और बाबू। क्या हो गया चिंटुआ? अरे मैं गिर गया पापा।
देखो, एक गिर गया। चलो उसे ही पकड़कर भूत बनाते हैं।
जल्दी दौड़ कर आ चिंटुआ। मैं उठ नहीं पा रहा हूँ पापा, मेरा पैर टूट गया है। क्या? पापा जल्दी टेम्पो को चिंटुआ के पास ले चलो। अरे उधर भूत है।
मालिक, उसका क्या करें? बाहर तो धूप है, हम वहाँ नहीं जा सकते। तो ट्रेन चढ़ा दे उसके ऊपर।
The night Rudolph realized his nose would never stop glowing was the night he wished he could disappear. Snow fell softly over the North Pole, wrapping everything in silver silence. But inside Rudolph's chest there was a storm. He stood alone at the edge of the reindeer field, his red nose burning like a tiny sun, impossible to hide no matter how hard he lowered his head or closed his eyes. Every laugh he had heard that day echoed in his mind. Every whisper, every sideways glance. He wondered why being different had to hurt so much, and whether there was any place in the world meant for someone like him. That question, heavy and aching, is what pulls us into Rudolph's story, because deep down, we have all stood in that same lonely place, asking the same thing. Rudolph was born during a winter brighter than most, yet from his first steps, it was clear he was unlike the others. His nose glowed red, not faintly, but boldly, lighting up snowbanks and casting soft shadows on the walls of the stable. The other young reindeers stared in wonder at first, but wonder soon turned into jokes. They called him names, laughed when he tried to play games, and avoided flying beside him because his glow made them feel exposed. Even Rudolph's father, a strong and respected reindeer, struggled to know how to protect him. He loved his son deeply, but fear made him quiet. Fear that the world would be cruel. Fear that Rudolph's difference would keep him from ever belonging. Rudolph tried to change. He covered his nose with mud, with scarves, with anything he could find. He practiced flying at night when no one was watching. He stayed silent when jokes were told, pretending they didn't hurt, but each word left a mark. The only comfort he found was in quiet moments, listening to the wind through the trees, watching the stars, and dreaming of a place where his light wouldn't be a problem. He wondered if Santa noticed him at all, or if he was just another reindeer meant to fade into the background. One evening, during flight practice, Rudolph lost control. His glowing nose reflected off the ice, blinding him for a moment, and he crashed into a snowdrift. Laughter followed, sharp and loud. That was the moment something inside Rudolph broke. Without a word, he stood up, turned away from the field, and ran. He ran past the workshops, past the glowing windows, and into the dark forest beyond the North Pole. The cold bit into his legs, but he didn't stop. He felt that being alone was better than being unwanted. In the forest, Rudolph met creatures who didn't laugh at his light. A lonely snow fox who had been rejected for being too small. A young polar bear afraid of his own strength. An old owl who could no longer see well enough to hunt. Each of them carried a quiet sadness, and in Rudolph's glowing presence, they found comfort instead of shame. His nose lit their paths, warmed their hearts, and for the first time, Rudolph saw something new in their eyes. Not mockery, but gratitude. Slowly, he began to understand that his light could be a gift, even if the world he came from hadn't seen it yet. But peace did not last long. A fierce storm began to rise, darker and heavier than any before. The sky swallowed the stars, and the wind howled like it was alive. Back at the North Pole, panic spread. Christmas Eve was approaching, and Santa knew the storm would make flying impossible. Without clear skies, without light, the sleigh could not fly. The reindeer were strong, but even they could not see through such darkness. Hope began to fade, and for the first time in many years, Santa wondered if Christmas might fail.